In PoE 2, you want to get all the passives you can, such as 20% to all resistances, 24 passive skill points, 100 spirit, 8% life, and more. I am Sir Salty. Here's my quick guide on all the passives you can acquire throughout all the acts in Path of Exile 2. This is more so for anyone starting out, or you just happen to miss one of these in your first playthrough. When you go to your map, you'll see an icon showing a plus symbol. That indicates that you have a passive to gain there. Okay. Starting off in Act 1, we have Biera of the Rotten Pack. Felling her will grant you an item that gives you 10% cultures, which you can do on cruel difficulty as well for an additional 10, often found in the middle of this small map. Next, we have Crowbell in the Hunting Grounds. You'll find this gated area that leads to the Crowbell. You'll have to hunt him down a couple times because he'll like to run away. He will drop the Book of Specialization on both normal and cruel difficulty. In the Freythorn attached to the Hunting Grounds, you'll find the King in the Mists. Do the 3 small rituals first, then find the larger one, defeat the boss, and you'll gain a skull, which gives you 30 spirit. You can do this on cruel difficulty, but you will not get a skull for more spirit. In the Ogham Farmlands, we'll have Una's loot quest. At the encampment, you can talk to her to get the quest, or you can just go get the loot yourself. This will award 2 passive skill points and can be done on both cruel and normal mode. Ogham Village will have a quest to gain a salvage bench. There'll be a small little building you can go into that has a checkpoint. You'll get the quest item there that'll allow you to salvage items that have sockets or quality on them. You will only have to do this once. And in the last part of Act 1, when you go into the manor, on the first floor you can find a boss called Candlemass. Interact with the plaque and you'll start the boss fight. This will be in the area after seeing the beast downstairs, which is your destination. Upon defeat, he will drop an item that gives you 20 max life, and on cruel difficulty it will be 8% max life. Definitely quite the difference there. And then starting off with Act 2 is the Ascendancy. You'll earn this coin by defeating Balbala, the traitor, in Traitor's Passage. This is a coin that you'll take to the Trial of Sekimas. Once you get it, you'll have access to the area, and in the game's current state, you'll have access to the 2 Ascendancy classes for your class. Choose wisely, as you cannot change your Ascendancy classes currently. Oh no! This might be changed in the future, but apparently it took 9 years for PoE 1 to do that. Bruh! And next we have the Valley of the Titans and a relic buff. You will stumble across an altar right by the waypoint in the Valley of the Titans. This is where you'll have the quest to go to 3 different areas in Act 2, one of them being the Bone Pits, and the other one being Keth. Okay. Both these relics are just a random drop in each of those areas. You shouldn't have too much trouble getting them to drop, but you might have to farm a little bit. Slot them in, and then you have 2 buffs to choose from, and you can switch them at any given time. The buffs only slightly change between normal and cruel, and if you want, you can go back at any point and change them both. Yeah, boy. And when we go to Keth, we can also kill the Constrictor Queen for 2 passive skill points, and this can be done twice because you can do it again in cruel mode. Towards the ending of Act 2, we will have a quest to go to Dashar, and you can find a letter on a body that you find. Okay. You can get the quest before going to the area, so you'll know about it. Otherwise, you can stumble upon it and still be okay. And now we have the Sisters of Garukhan statue. In the Spires of Dashar, you'll have to track down this statue. It does not do a good job of showing you that you have 10 lightning resist buff, but it does indeed grant you that, as well as reviving a bunch of mechanical birds. And now with Act 3, we have a bit of a bonus. In the initial area, you'll find a southern encampment with a checkpoint nearby with 2 elite monsters. They protect a basket in the back which will drop a guaranteed lesser jewel orb, which is fantastic for your first time through. I was really hoping that on cruel it might drop a greater jewel orb, but I happened to get one to drop anyways from killing one of the elites. Hopefully you get that lucky. Moving on to the jungle ruins and fighting the massive 4-armed gorilla, Mighty Silverfist. Defeating this fearsome foe will drop a Book of Specialization, which, if you hadn't noticed, will net you 2 passive skill tree points. And guess what? It can also be done on cruel difficulty for another 2. What? Also in the jungle ruins, you'll find a waypoint with the Venom Crypts nearby. This will lead you to a small mini dungeon that you'll have to fight through. It is very maze-like, so try not to lead yourself back to the start. You will find a corpse in there with Corpse Snake Venom on it. This will be handed in at Servian Town for 3 possible buffs. The Act 3 buffs are shown ahead, and the other ones that I'm choosing now are for cruel difficulty. I'd recommend the Ailment Threshold for normal and Chaos Resistance for cruel. In the Chimera Wetlands, you'll find a Chimera. Oh, shocker. Ending the Chimera will drop an ultimatum that will allow you to go to the Chaos Trials to get your 2nd points of Ascendancy. Good luck. Moving on to Jaquani's Mechanarium. Is that how you say it? And finding Blackjaw. You will need to find the soul cores in this area to fight this boss, and he kind of hits like a truck, so be very careful with this guy. But he will reward you with 10% fire resistance, which can be done on normal and cruel difficulty. Good job! Attached to the Infested Barrens is the Azek Bog, where you can fight the Bog Witch. In this area, I would recommend, if you have low fire resist, to go through the area and activate 5 effigies in an area with a checkpoint. This will improve your fire resist as well as magic find, which this boss does a lot of fire damage. Defeat the Bog Witch, and she'll grant you a spirit increase through a skull. Act 3 normal will give you 30 spirit, and on cruel, it'll go up to 40, giving you 100 spirit total. Definitely do not want to miss out on those sweet spirit buffs, since every build relies on them. From the Drowned City, you can find the Molten Vault. Alternatively, you can go to the Ziggurat and find a quest from Oswald, and he'll have you go into the Molten Vault to kill the Forge Master. You're gonna have to deal with some lava shenanigans, but not too much of a hard fight. Just watch where you're standing next to Spikes, and be wary of when he yells. Upon defeat, he will drop his hammer, allowing you to reforge items, which is taking 3 of the same item and turning it into a new one, or upgrading your maps. And lastly, for Act 3, we'll have the Sacrificial Heart. As you are tearing up the streets of Utsal, you will come across these big bulky boys. They are the ones that will drop the Sacrificial Heart, and you'll have to take this heart to the Trial of Sacrifice, which is a couple areas ahead. Always found on the northeast side of the map, you'll find this little altar and a boss there. And all you gotta do, pick up the dagger, place down the heart, and then embrace your inner savagery. And this will net you 2 passive skill points. Who knew that there was power in these rituals? There is also corruption altars in Act 3, but you probably won't be using them until late game anyways. Or at least that's what you should be saving it for. But yeah, that does it for my guide on all the passives you can get. I did this for anyone new to the game or just wanted some help. And you know what? If it helps just one person, then it's all worth it. So here's looking at you, the one person watching this. Take care, catch you on the next one.